Hey there.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm doing okay. I am doing good. Thanks for coming to this.
Yes, I'm excited actually.
Good, good, good.
Morning, everybody. How
Hi,
are you?
Julian.
Hello. All right. Marla jumped on before. Marla and I were coaching, so I apologize for the delay.
No problem.
Thank you, Liz, for being here. And as you know, people will be jumping on
Sure.
as we go along. So Liz is here to help us. Yesterday in team meeting, Jim had Jim went through some of the stats that are more current. And really, Liz is going to help us understand how to understand the stats and which ones really are important and why they're there. So we're really excited to have you, Liz. Thank you so much for your time. Love your hair too. Looks awesome.
Thank you. It's a rare day where it's not a giant ball from humidity. So
there you go. Absolutely. All right. Thanks again for your time, and go ahead and take it away. All right.
Okay. Unfortunately, Chartmaster Chuck could not be present today, so we don't get him today. He's the one who does. He's the one who does the charts. But I basically just want to, and it may not take the hour. We'll just see. But I just want to go through what we have available to us, just an overview, and then the key charts that I would recommend using, and then any questions you have. So who is using them? Or we just have two people on, right? It looks like.
I know I do, but I've been at this a while. Both Marla is within with this less than a year, Krishna a couple months, so I don't know that they're using them at all.
Probably not. Okay. Well, I'm going to share my screen and start off with kind of the overview. But basically, these are charts that are specific just to Keller Williams. No other brokerage gets them. And the whole Rawls group gets them, and then there are some that are outside of the Rawls group. So it's something that's exclusive to us, and it's done by a third party. They are former agents, and they have lots of experience, and one is a former IBMer who loves charts and information and looking at trends. So we're fortunate to have that from him. So you're paying for these monthly. So it is a great thing to know, just even if you use one or two pieces of this stuff, it's really helpful, and we're already, paying for it. So it's a great tool that we have that others do not. So let me share. I'm still kind of, hold on. Okay. And slideshow. All right, can everybody, you can all see that?
Yes.
Good, okay. Okay, so basically, again, it's just for Keller Williams offices and agents. They're done in as simple a format as possible. Some people really love looking at graphs and charts, and some people just really have trouble understanding what they're looking at. So they're done, in as simple a way as possible. The really cool thing that is somewhat new in the past year or two, he has added talking points to each chart, and I'll show you where those are. So you've got little built-in scripts with each one. So if you're kind of struggling with what it means and what to say if you're using it with a client, it's there for you. And when you actually present those notes, I don't think they show. I think you can, when you do like a slideshow in PowerPoint, they don't show. But that's a great tool because you automatically have things to say and an overview to give the person and why it's important for them to know. So I love that part. Other thing that makes these stats stand out from what other, you can see stats in from a lot of different sources. But what makes ours stand out is that it factors in the previous listing period. So if a home was listed and didn't, failed to sell, and it was relisted, after 30 days, it gets a new number when it's relisted. So if you're getting your stats from FMLS directly or some other sources, it's not going to factor in that first listing period. So it's going to look like the house sold in a much shorter amount of time and for closer to the original asking price than it really did. These charts go back and pull information from all listing periods, and it goes back, I believe, 3 years. So the advantage to that is that we really can get a better sense of what's happening in the market. If you just look at the most recent listing periods, it's not the full story. And you'll see in some of the charts what I mean when and it helps buyers and sellers really understand what's been going on. So previous listings, that information is important. We also have interactive worksheets, which are super cool, and I'm going to show you some. And that way that you can put in your area. If you're looking at a specific area, you can plug that in, and specific price ranges. So you can pull this data so it's more of a micro market look. And let's see what else. So this sets this apart, and it helps you help your clients make good choices with pricing. And you don't have to be a charts genius. It's all there for you, and all the scripts are there for you. Okay, so basically there are 4 aspects of the market that we want to educate people, ourselves and our clients on. And most sources you're going to get stats from are just going to look at the current trends, days on market and the sale price and all of that. But we want to go deeper, look at the current trend, and also look at the effects of the current trends on the market, whether it's good or bad. See how those trends are affecting what's happening for sellers and buyers. And then, you know, it helps us help sellers to price correctly. It helps us come up with some good pricing strategies based on what we're seeing happening in the market. And I'll show you some examples of that too. And then the consequences of if you don't get the price right, what happens to sellers, and how it affects buyers as well, because it affects both sides. So consequences of wrong pricing choices, which is the greatest part of this stuff. It helps you really tell and educate your sellers about why overpricing is not going to be in their best interest. So those are the key things that we use the charts for, and it's a great tool. Okay, so when you get our quarterly report is uploaded to our intranet, and you've got 2 different sections, and they did all these, this layout to kind of show you what you've got, because it can be kind of confusing when you go in to know what you're looking at and what things to pull. So there's 2 key areas. One is the metro market reports, and those are for detached and condos and townhomes. And I'll break this down in a minute to what is in each one. So you've got your stats reports, and then you've got your market information toolkit. So the stats are charts and graphs showing you all the trends. And then the toolkit is what you would go to find your listing presentation, your buyer consult. There's some training materials, and there's also actually some lead generation pieces that you can pull out too. So all of those are in the toolkit, and there's a lot to look at. This shows you, it breaks it out further. So looking at this, sorry, that's the toolkit is in yellow. So everything in the yellow is what is in your toolkit. So we've got buyer tools. The buyer grab and go is a super simple but effective, ready to go packet. It has updated stats in it, and you can just keep this printed out when the quarterly reports come out. You can just have it. I just print mine out and have it in a binder. I prefer paper to show to clients versus a tablet, but you can do either. Also, one thing to note, you're going to see PowerPoint versions and PDF versions. So the PowerPoint's great if you want to pull out specific charts and put it into something else, or if you want to go through in a slideshow with your clients, either in the conference room or on a tablet or computer. So, but some people prefer the PDF version. So we have it in both formats. Let me know if there are any questions too. I'll just keep going unless I hear somebody needs something, but okay. So
yeah, you can either ask her directly, which is fine. We got a small group, it's cool. Or if you want to put it in the chat, I'll be glad to reach it, make sure that she gets it, okay? Okay,
thanks. I just wanted to say that because I will keep talking, and if you have something, stop me. Okay, seller tools, we've got a pre-list kit, so that if you're a new agent, you don't have to recreate the wheel. It's there. It's got some great pieces to it. You can tweak it. You can customize any of these things, and pick and choose what you want to use. But there is a pre-list kit ready to go. There is the seller grab and go, which again is just a quick version to have ready. If you suddenly get a listing appointment and you want to just have it printed out and ready, it's got all of your information and your updated quarterly report charts included in that. And then there's a Michael Lewis in the Michael Lewis marketing graphics, they have put the grab and go into that format. So it matches, it's just a nicer look, you know, than just the basic charts. So that is basically the same thing as the grab and go. It's just in the Michael Lewis format. Lead generation, we have postcards. They are ready to go. They are just very simple. It's usually a chart and some script on it, and they've got it all laid out so you can actually just brand it for yourself and have it printed and mailed. Super easy. Selling Choices brochure is awesome. If you have time to check that out, it is a whole packet that you can give to for sale by owners or anyone that is thinking of maybe going the discount broker route. It gives them a quiz to see if they're a candidate to be a for sale by owner. And it's kind of it's not too preachy, like you need to use an agent, but it also is designed to show them the benefits of using an agent also, and the kind of the pitfalls that could come about with trying to sell themselves. So that's a great one. If you're pursuing a for sale by owner, you can always just give them that and then follow up. It's a good tool. Let's see. Also, we have got self-training tools. So there's a whole thing called Chartmaster for Dummies, and it walks you through a lot of these charts, how to use them, and the basics of them. The how-to documents, that's right here. Again, some ways to pull and utilize the charts that you're given. Also with the pre-list kit and some of the buyer tools, you'll see some instructions on how to put them together. You can put them together however you want. It's just their suggestions, that have been put in place for you. Okay, so that's the toolkit. So there's a lot of stuff in there. I would focus first on the buyer grab and go and the seller grab and go. Those are kind of the basics that I think are really good to have on hand. Okay, then we get monthly updates, which is the monthly MMO, and that's for condos and detached houses. And it is a monthly snapshot. So this is great for a touch to your database on a monthly basis. You can pick 1 or 2 charts. I wouldn't send the whole thing you can certainly just send them the whole thing, but it's going to be a lot of information. So I usually pick a couple of charts each month, and I try to keep it consistent so that hopefully if they're reading it, they can get used to looking at the specific charts I send and see how it changes. But that's a good thing for yourself also, just to kind of see month to month in between quarterly reports what's going on. And that's been really important lately with COVID and our craziness in the market for spring. So I would definitely, get used to looking at those once a month. They come out on as close to the first as, it's like the next business day after the first of the month. So then we get to the quarterly reports, and we've got a whole bunch of charts. So I would certainly not recommend that you sit down with a client and go through all of them, because they will be horribly bored. But I would definitely recommend going through, and if you're not familiar with what's in there, I would definitely go through and just look and see what options you've got. Again, they're for detached and they're for condos and townhomes. So the basics they're for the 41 FMLS areas of the metro area. And then we do have interactive charts, which give you the ability to pare down into the areas that you're interested in or your clients are interested in. So you've got, and so when you break it out, you've got 2 sets of charts for both detached and condos. You've got quarterly reports, stats, and then you've got area comparison reports. And I'll show you examples of those so you can see what those look like. Also cool, that's somewhat new, he has given us, it used to just be for the in-town offices, but now we all get it, an in-town detached report. And then he's broken them out into some of the outer lying counties and the Forsyth County area too. So those are nice. If you're focusing on those areas or have clients looking, just know that you have separate reports for those. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the quarterly reports. And this is the stats, just the basic array of charts that we have. I can't remember how many we have. I think it was close to 100, and I think he's pared back a little bit. Now we may be at 70 or 80, but
that's probably the biggest thing with this is how do I pick the most important things? Because there's so much information.
And
It's
until
perfect for a disc profile for C. Perfect.
which I
But
am.
not,
I love it,
that's a very, very small group. So how do we pick out the most important?
I am going to show you, and now my slideshow froze on me, so hang on one sec. I don't know why it does that. I'm going to show you some key charts. And again, this is just an overview of telling you each chart has has notes underneath it for you to use as a script. And then there is a one-page summary, which I'll show you, which gives, here's what I would suggest right off the bat. You get the quarterly report, you know that it's there, you download it, and you go directly to the one-page summary, which is about halfway down through the charts. And it gives you, and again, I'll show you an example of it, but it gives you basically a one-page bullet point of what the market has done in second quarter. So what you can do, and some agents are doing, I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do this, you print out that page and you memorize it, and it's a great talking point if someone asks you what's going on in the market. It's like an elevator speech kind of thing. You've got your key points, and you, if nothing else, just do that. So look at that summary report and kind of know what's been going on, so you have something to talk about. You can even laminate it and keep it in your wallet or keep it in your, whatever works for you, but that's a really good overview if you don't look at any charts. It's very helpful. So, okay. And these charts, and again, when I show you the individual ones, I would recommend, they are good for both buyers and sellers. So we tend to think of some of them as being seller specific, but they're really good for buyers too, because buyers need to know what's going on in the market so we can set their expectations correctly. All right, the toolkit, and this is what we talked about before. This is where all your buyer and seller tools are, lead gen and self-training tools. You've got your, again, grab and go, pre-list packet, the selling choices brochure. You've got Chartmaster for Dummies. I think I just skipped ahead, sorry. Hang on, okay. And assembling and using instructions too, which may be good if you're just getting started using it. Okay, buyer and lead gen and the postcard campaign. Again, another thing I would say, you can pull these charts out from the PowerPoint. You can copy and paste individual charts if you want to use it in some of our command designs. I have not done that yet because I'm still learning command, and the design part, I'm still getting my feet wet on that. But I know that we can make use of these charts within some of our awesome, marketing pieces that they're giving us there. So once I play around with that, I'll let you know how that goes, putting these
It's
charts
very
in.
easy to drag and drop.
Yeah.
The designs, because I'm not good at Canva, and our designs is really, really easy.
Yeah, it seems like they are. I'm still familiarizing myself on how to use them, but just know that this is another opportunity for using the charts. If you want a quick, you can use it for postcards that are in command, and there's a lot of opportunities to use it with what we have, the new technology we have too. So I think it fits well. Chartmaster for Dummies kind of walks you through the basics of it, and then how-to documents. Okay, so now I will show you the charts that I recommend that you use. And again, if you love charts, I would recommend going through all of them and, familiarizing yourself, but these are the key ones that I use always. And this first group is from the quarterly, the Metro Market Report, not the area report. So the first one, and if you were listening to the team meeting yesterday, Jim went over a lot of these. This is the American Idol chart. And basically we call it that because it goes back to 2009 and the downturn. So in 2009, we obviously had huge supply, and a lot of people failed to sell, and there was a glut of inventory. And so this green line is the supply, a balanced market supply. That is our bar for where we consider it in between a buyer and seller market. And then anything above it is a buyer's market. Anything below is a seller's market. This is supply, and these are listings. And these are the years that he's been tracking. So the people in red are the people that thought they could sing. And then the people in black are the ones that actually could sing, meaning they sold. So
I'm not seeing that slide.
You're not seeing it?
I still do see the.
Hold on. Hang on. Maybe I did not. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Maybe it's my screen, but
No.
you're not frozen.
Hang on. Let me get out of this one. Yep, I didn't share it correctly. I'm sorry. Let me start
That's
that.
okay. That's all right.
Thank you for letting me know.
Sure.
I've gone through all these. Okay, there. Can you see it now?
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, well, back to this is the American Idol. So again, so this green bar is our balanced market indicator at 6 months of supply. And anything above it, these is if this black, the black is actual sales, people who have sold, and the red are listings. So we are looking at who actually could sell or sing, as the American Idol, thing indicates, versus who thought they could sell and could not. So we've got listings versus actual sales, and then the supply is this black line. So if the black line is below the green bar, it's a seller's market. If it's above, it's a buyer's. So you can see in the downturn, we obviously were in a hardcore buyer's market in the beginning, and then it shifted to a seller's market. So this is a really good overview just to kind of explain the trends of the past years, and really the sales didn't change a whole lot. They have obviously gone up in the past several years, but they don't change dramatically. It's the listings and the supply that has changed pretty drastically over the years. So that's the American Idol. And again, if you look down here, can y'all see that the script down there, the notes?
I don't think I'd ever noticed the notes section before.
It's
Yeah,
really
you can
cool.
see it.
You can see it? Okay, good. So you can kind of scroll, it goes further. It's kind of hard to, it's little, you've got to kind of scroll down and it gives you exactly, the key points of the chart. So I think that's really awesome. And it shows you how to use it for buyers and sellers. It gives you some talking points. So that one's a great one. Then we get to the game, what we call the game board. And this is my favorite, and it gives you an overview of pretty much everything. This does not include failed listings, and then I'll show you a chart that does soon. But this chart shows basically all of the listings that closed in that quarter, and the top is all of the closings and the overall median sell to list price. The percent of original listing price that the sellers got, and then how many days it took. But that's overall. That's just getting a median for both of those stats overall. But we want to look at how many sellers had to take a price reduction before they sold. So out of these closings, these are the people that had to take a price reduction, and it tells you the percentages, how long they were on the market, and what percentage of their original asking price they got. So you can start to see the penalty if they had to reduce, which meant they priced too high. Then we take those that price reduced and look at who had to list, who had to list more than once. So their listing failed and they either withdrew it or it expired and they had to relist, and versus those that did not. And again, you can see the consequences. So if they price reduced and they made it and they didn't have to list again, this is their end result. And then the red box is where we don't want any sellers. We might want buyers there if they're looking for a deal and they want to negotiate. For buyers, I would say, this is a red box house. You've got room to negotiate on price and terms. But for sellers, we certainly don't want them here. So that is what
This is a really good one for people that want to overprice their property.
Yes.
Because if you show them this and then remind them that the asterisk, if you notice, the medians are half are above and half are below. So if you look at, if it's priced right and it's staged well, it's going to go under contract at around 6 days on the market and at or above 100% or list price.
Yes.
Versus overpricing it and having to reduce and then you could even crunch the numbers and say what 92.6% is as an average, right? And they'll realize that pricing it lower actually will make them more money than if they price it higher.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is a really powerful one. And so again, yeah, and as you just said, what we want for our sellers is no price reduction, no second listing or third. And this is what's happening to the people that sold in those circumstances. They got the price right 100% 6 days, and that's great. This previously listed, but no price reduction is, that's kind of a strange category, but I think it's sometimes when there's an issue between the agent and the seller maybe, or I don't know, something happens. Their price is right, but something else is wrong. So,
or they're not marketing the way they should, not doing open houses. I mean, it could be a lot of different things.
It could. Okay, then we have an interactive version of this, which is what I use. I use this a lot. So you can enter the area number. If it's for a listing, you want to pull up their area, or for buyers too, but you can put in the area. When you're in the interactive, I don't have the interactive actual version. It's not going to work in this format, but you can double click in this area on the chart, and then it gives you the ability to plug in these numbers. If you have them, if you have an Apple product, you can, he's got a section of interactive charts that work for that. So let me know,
Where are those?
They are in the quarterly reports. There's a section called, I think they're called non-macro interactive documents, and they work. They are in a format that will work. So
sweet. That makes me happy because I've never been able to use these before.
Yeah, and they're so good. I will pare down and show you where those are. I'll send you a version, because there's a couple different look. I get confused. I don't have an Apple product, so mine works, but there is a workaround for it. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So you can plug these in, and then it's specific to the area, and you can do price range. If you don't want to do a price range, you can do 9. You put 9 in here, which is all combined. So you can just do the area, or you can do all areas and a price range. So there's different ways to do it. But so this will pull up specific to that area, and it'll be the same information. And it can certainly change, as we know, areas can have different trends. So that's really helpful. And it will give your client kind of an idea of what's happening in their area and their price point. So I love this one. And again, you emphasize to the seller, we want you to be a green box house, not red. And for buyers, for buyers, if you see a house, so I tell people in my buyer consult, I use this chart and I say that if I see a home, I set their expectations. If we see a home and I feel that it is priced correctly, I know that they need to move real fast, and they don't need to mess around with lowball offers or a lot of terms. I'll say this is a green box house. You've got to come in at, or maybe sometimes above asking in our current market, and you've got to move quickly, and you've got to expect some competition. So it sets their expectations before you get to it. So they don't think you're just trying to make them come in too high. And if possible, show them examples of houses that have gone quickly and above asking. And then, if it's a red box house, that's where they can negotiate. Okay, so then, are there any questions about that? Does that all make sense? Cool. Okay, one thing that I don't, and I hope that's not blocking everybody. Failed listings, we don't really talk about as much. People tend to not discuss it as much with clients. It's unpleasant, it's the unpleasant side. When we say failed listings, they're important to look at because these are listings that do not sell within their listing period. It may go on to be listed again and sell eventually, but we're just looking at the listing period as of this second quarter data. So, and again, it tells you down here in these awesome notes. So, so they're either withdrawn or expired during their listing period. So this is important to look at. It kind of tells us, it shows seasonality, of course. There's less in the height of spring. Is a little bit, it really wasn't that different during this spring, even with everything going on. It wasn't that different. We are up when you look at each quarter, and we always compare to the quarter from the year before because of seasonality. But this is important to talk about because you don't want your seller to end up here, and you can tell them, hey, over a quarter of sellers, second quarter actually failed to sell in their first listing period. So it's something that needs to be talked about because they may not even be aware that that can happen. A lot of people just think, oh, my house will sell. Well, it will eventually, but how long will that take?
You also have one split up by price point too, right? Isn't there one price point as far as failed listings go?
Yes, yes, it is broken out in the charts. This is the overview, but then in the actual stats, yeah, there is one by price point. And I just was trying to focus on.
No, and I like that one because it says, look, you know, there's a lot of overpriced prices out there. So, because people go by what they see on active, we're not, that's just competition. That's not our comps.
Exactly. And they haven't succeeded yet. I mean, actives haven't made it yet. So yeah, so this is important to talk about. Okay, and then this is the other, so really, if I were to pick just two charts, if you don't want to use a lot, I would pick the game board and I would pick this one. And this one's called the bubble chart. And this one, the game board did not factor in failed listings, but the bubble chart puts everything from the game board plus the failed listings in and puts it together. So it looks at for every 100 finalized listings, and it pulls from all the same data that we just saw. For every 100 finalized closed listings, how many sold? So we've got 73, and this is for the whole metro area. And 27 out of 100 failed, most likely because of overpricing. So then you look at the ones that sold and how many of those took a price reduction. So we've got 25, which is 35%. And days on market were 97, and amount of original asking price was 93.6. And we saw that in the game board, so it's not new information. Then you bring in the faileds, and you add the faileds to the price ones that had to price reduce, meaning both of these are overpriced listings. So 52 out of every 100 listings in second quarter was overpriced. 52 of every 100, and 65% were correctly priced. Why does that not seem? Oh, that's not a percentage. Sorry, 48 out of 100 were not.
That's not 65%.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that is, so more than half were overpriced. And actually this number has been actually quite a bit higher in the past. So it's gone down, which is good. And this is when it's good to keep track of this and look at it every quarter. So, you know, oh, that's actually improving. So you can talk about that.
Actually the 65% is the overpriced number, I think.
Is it? Yes, he's got that wrong.
Yeah.
Tell him that's not right. Yeah. But 52 out of 100 overpriced, 48 not. So this is just a good one. It's a good overview, and it's pretty easy to read. It's pretty easy to go through. And again, you've got notes down here too. And then we have an interactive version. So again, you can put in the area and price range and do that specific to whatever area you're focusing on, whatever price range. And again, you can choose 9 if you want all combined for this. And for area, I think if you put total, it does all of them, but I'm not actually this one. Yeah, I'm not sure. So those stuff I were gonna do just two. I would do game board and this guy, and you would be covering a good overview of what's happening. Then this one you can use with the seller if you are having a debate on price. This chart is interactive also, and it pulls in all the data we just talked about, same source. And if your seller wants to list at 525 and you think 500 is your green box price and you're kind of debating, you can plug this in and show them the likely outcome. None of this is set in stone. This doesn't mean this 100% will happen, but it's based on our trends, what is likely to happen. Never do this without pulling it first, because in some situations, it may not come out that great. So just test it before you go in with it. But you can just plug in estimates of their carrying costs right here. You know, you may not know exactly what their mortgage is. If you can ask, great, but you can kind of plug in some basic placeholders for that. So that one is good. And then we also have it where you can put in the area. Again, you can pare down to the area you're working.
So basically, when you look at this, if they want to price it at 525 by selling it or putting it on the market at 500, which would sell it faster, you actually are going to net about $625 in your pocket and get it sold in basically a week versus on the market for almost more than half a year.
Exactly.
and all that time and energy. So that's the conversation that you need to have is it worth it to get basically the same amount of money just to say that you got a little bit more out of your house?
Yes.
When they factor it all in, they don't think about all of those things.
Yeah, it's a good illustration of what it's actually going to be like. And hopefully they will agree that that's not where they want to be. And that's not, that is not ideal. Okay, let's see.
You know what, Liz, even if you figured this out, this actually might be good for you too, because if their monthly carrying costs are low and it's not that much of a savings, then maybe it is worth trying to get at a higher price. Chances are it's not going to be that way, but it's worth looking at. And I would be the first one to say, you know what, why not try it at the higher price?
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that. And we all have that struggle of, well, maybe we can go a little, we can push it a little, and is it going to be, but that's a really good point. I'm going to do that. That's a good point. Yeah. Cause it might not be that far off, and then it's worth the try if they're in agreement to bring it down, if it doesn't work. So yeah, that is good. This next one, this looks crazy, like insanity to look at, but this is, this could be used. I'll show you the next one is what I would use this for. This is our median sales price history going back to, wow, 2003. So it's getting real busy. But this top one is 2020. And if you can sift through the colors and the shapes, you can kind of see what's happened, and you know, the bottom of our market and when that hit. But that is the basic chart. But then if you go to the next one I'm going to show you, you can actually, this is another interactive, you can plug in your clients, the year that they purchased. I think I'm still blocking that. Hold on.
I've never seen this one. This is cool.
So this would be really good if you see that you've got a client that's been in their house for a while. Maybe they bought in the downturn or whatever, or right after, whatever. You can pull this and send them just this chart, plug in the year they purchased versus now.
How far back does it go, Liz?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
How far back does it go?
2003. So that's
Okay.
pretty far. So you could look and you can look in Command and see if you've got your anniversary dates in there. You can say, oh, that person hasn't sold in X amount of years. Let's see what's happening. You can just send it to them. It's super simple, but I think that's a good use of it. And it'll show where they are. So, and now it's for the whole market. So it's not going to be specific, you know, it just gives them an idea of how much overall. So, and then you could dig deeper if they ask questions or seem interested, then it's a good conversation starter, I think. So that I just pulled that in because of that. That might be a good touch, a good use of that. This chart is, and I'm almost through these. This chart is, this shows, and this is in the pre-list, this is in our listing presentation, the grab and go. And this theory part is what a lot of sellers think is going to happen. They think that they're going to list, and you know, within the interest is going to go up as they're on the market for the first several weeks. That they're, you know, the first week maybe nobody knows they're out there, and it takes a couple weeks to get people to notice them and come in. We know that the opposite is true, and that the most visibility and the most likelihood of them selling at their top price is in that first couple of weeks. So this is the chart that shows that. So it's just a good visual to say, here's what you're thinking is going to happen, but here's what we know factually does actually happen. And that the longer you're on the market, the lower your, you know, result is going to be. So that one, again, is in our listing packet and all that. Okay, so then this, I'm not going to read through this, but this is the summary page I was telling you about. Just gives you a one-page key points of the whole second quarter stats. And this is what I would just study and look at. And just for, you know, you're at well, no one's going to parties now, but whenever you're having conversations, you know, with someone and the market comes up, you kind of know what's going on. You can keep it on your desk for calls, whatever works. And it just goes through the main highlights, because our median sales price is up from last year. So that's good. A lot of people are thinking probably that prices are tanking and all this horrible stuff's happening, but it's really not. So that's good to know. And then you can drill down. He's done more storytelling of the market, you know, what's important to sellers, what's important to buyers, and that's good to read. And then success strategies for both and the risks of wrong seller choices. Just a summary in text if you don't want to look at the charts. All right, any questions about that? Okay, then this time I will share the screen correctly and let me go to the area charts and then whatever questions you guys have. Hold on, get rid of that. And I did that wrong. Hold on, sorry. Okay. Area. Okay, can everyone see that? You got it? Okay. Okay, so these are the area ones, and there are a bunch of these. I've just pulled out an example of one category so you can kind of see how they work, but there we have these charts for days on market, sales, all kinds of things, foreclosures, a lot of different you know, charts for this, but I'm just going to show you the one set. So you have this map, color-coded map. This is awesome to show buyers too. It's good for both sides. You can see where we've had positive and negative changes, and over here is your, you know, your guide, your legend, and it'll show you what these colors mean. So, you know, if you're looking in East Cobb, you can see that the change in median sales price is, let's see, it is up in 83, down in 82, and it's up in 81, but not as much as 83. So it's a really good visual. If someone's looking at different areas, they can compare and kind of see for buyers what to expect, and for sellers also what to expect. And then with each color-coded one is a chart. So you've got your area numbers on the left. So again, if you're looking at East Cobb, there are these 81, 82, 83. It gets kind of confusing. You've got to kind of get used to looking at it, because each section, like Cobb, you know, East Cobb is green, and we've got, you know, like West Cobb and Vinings and all that is here. I think that's right. Anyway, you get used to how, and this is Sandy, you know, this is Fulton County, some of those counties. So just familiarize yourself with that. But it's a really, again, a good visual. Actually, this is month supply. I pulled the wrong, oh, I thought I was doing median price. I did both, sorry. This is change in median price. Okay, I went too far. This will show in graph form what was on this chart. So you can pare down to this. Again, good to show people what's been happening. 81 in here again, you can see what we just saw. 83 is going up, 81 is going up, but not as much, and 82 is down. So it's a good, you know, hyper-focused thing. And then we've got it for supply. If you have an investor looking, you know, you could use this for them to show, you know, there's a distressed version. There's a chart for distressed properties. You can show them where they might have better luck, you know, focusing. So there's a lot of uses for this. I like these. And then with this comes more interactive stuff. This one I love. I use this for buyers. And you can plug in, if they're looking at a variety of areas, you can click on the chart and put in your different areas, and it will show what the median sales price is, how long it's taking things to sell, if there's distressed properties, and how much of the asking price sellers are getting. So for buyers, it's a great opportunity. It's great to show them where they may have, you know, a better price within their budget, or, you know, how aggressive to be if things are going super quickly. You know, median days are 25 versus, well, this is the whole market, but, you know, things are going quicker in area 23 and 71 versus these other two. So it helps you position a buyer, and you can do it for sellers too, and kind of show how they're stacking up against their competing areas. So I like that one a lot, and I use that often. And then these are more of the same. These are more interactives. You can plug in the area and see what's happening across the price ranges. Same information basically is here. It's just looking at it in a different way. And then you can do area and price range and pare down and compare to the rest of the city. So that is it. That's a lot of charts, a lot of options, but any questions?
Hey, Liz.
Yes.
Thank you for all that information. That's great.
Sure.
Yeah, I am still stuck on not being able to make any adjustments in the number section.
Tell me in the interactive ones.
I guess, and maybe I'm not even in the interactive one. How do I get to the interactive versus the one that's not?
Tell me what you're trying to do.
Like look for my area.
Okay, so are you, well, so the majority of the charts that you see are going to be for all 41 areas combined.
Okay.
If it's an interactive chart, then you have the ability to double click on the chart, and you should be able to put in your area and price point. If you can't do that, then I was telling Julian that there are workarounds. He's got a set of standalone interactive charts that will work. If you're using an Apple product, that may be the problem. So
Okay.
I don't know. And also there's another device that does not work. I don't think Chromebooks can do it. It doesn't work on that. So let me know. I will send out the I'll do like a screenshot of where those interactive charts are, where they're separated, but they're in with all the other stats, but there's a lot there. So it's kind of confusing. If that's where you're having a problem, that's probably what's happening. You just need to do the individual interactive charts. So, because the regular ones you can't plug in an area, it's got to be the interactive version.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Can you show everybody the path to get to these, please?
Yes, if I can share my screen and do that, which I have struggled
You
with.
can. If you start from it should show you how to get there.
Let's see, share, and let me go to, so let me know if you can't see what I'm doing. Can y'all see me moving around on this? Okay.
Yes, you're on your MyKW.
Awesome. So you go to MyKW and you go to My Market Center intranet and click on that. And then you go to links up at the top. And then MMO and quarterly reports. And now since I'm in here, I'll show you where those the versions that work for Apple folks. So here's your quarterly, your toolkit, the monthly metro market overview. And then these were the ones he was doing weekly in place of the first quarter. He didn't do first quarter because we were in the middle of the COVID stuff and it just wouldn't have made any sense. The numbers wouldn't have made any sense. So he did weekly updates. So you don't have to worry about that one anymore unless you want to go back and pull something. So quarterly reports, these are where you got condos, detached, and then the individual counties, selected counties and in town. I'm not sure I need to ask him what this is. This is new. I don't know what that is. I'll find out. Okay, so then you go into, let's just pick detached. It'll be the same for condos. I think that it's this one. Hold on. I think that it's this one that is with macros, the interactive ones. Yeah, combined interactive charts. So if you go in that, this is the one that should work.
Okay.
And you can download them. And if you have any trouble, let me know. I am not super expert at this part. I don't usually have to use them because it works on mine, but try those. It gives you information about how to use it and how to pull stuff, and how to enter in,
And test it before you do it in front of your client.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I made the mistake of not, and I looked like a fool because I couldn't get it to work. So there you go.
Definitely test. And I don't know what the non-macro, I honestly, I don't know what the difference, I mean, macro is what you want. That's what you want to use, pretty sure. So again,
I've gotten here, and then when I get to here, let me just anyways, when I get to it, mine I can't even
unshare your screen, Liz, and let's have Marla share hers.
Okay.
We got time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because she's probably having the same issues that a lot of us are having.
Okay, and I may not have the answer, but I can pass it on and I can get it for you if I don't know.
So I can't really, I'm on my phone, so I can't really, I'm on 2 different things. But anyways, I've gotten to here a few times, and when I get to this spot, I can't even click anything in there. So
That is not the part you do though. That's just the intro. If you go down to the bottom, there are tabs with each individual chart. There should be tabs.
okay, so like if I want to, I'd go to each chart then?
Yeah, you go into each chart. That first screen is giving you the instructions on how to do it, but then you have to go into the
Okay.
individual charts, and then you should be able to do it.
So like I should, and that's what I'm having troubles with too, is once I get to the chart, it doesn't let me do anything.
Okay, is it the macro or non-macro one?
How would I know? It says
The title, the name of the file should tell you, and I
This
can't
was
see it.
I
Yeah,
think it says macro.
It says macro. Okay.
Would I
Find
want to
that.
try the other one maybe?
Try the other one and see. Yeah, because I was
With
confused too.
macro. How do I, oh, non-macro. Okay, so maybe let me try this one and see.
Try
Let me
that
just
one, and then let me see if I can.
area. No, it's not letting me click on anything. Do I have to be like logged into something? Do I have
No.
to download something for this to
Well,
work?
oh, if you have not downloaded it, it's not going to work. So you've got to
Okay,
download. You've got to download that file and then go into it. That could be what's happening. If you're doing it just from the KW link, it won't work.
Yes. Okay, so that's
That's
the
what
issue.
it is. Yep.
So I
that's
have to download this right here. Oops,
Yes. So download it and then pull it up and you should be able to do it. And it should be the macro version. Yeah. That's
So
it.
I'm sorry, I tried to download it and it came out as a PDF file, even the PowerPoint version.
Really?
Yeah.
Should not be, unless it was loaded incorrectly.
And you do have PowerPoint and Excel in your computer, right?
I do.
Okay.
Which one did you download that came out that way?
I did Sellers Grab and Go.
Okay. Hang on, let me go in mine and see.
Do you want me to try something else and see if that would work?
Yeah, I just wonder if, hold on, let me just pull up Seller Grab and Go. Let me make sure mine is, oh, no, mine's PowerPoint. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that would be happening. Try another one. Yeah, try another one and see if it does the same thing.
So I went to 2Q 2020 Forsyth County Market Report,
Oh,
and there are 2 options. There's a PDF and the PowerPoint,
right.
but Seller Grab and Go doesn't give me an option.
Okay.
So I think you will have, or somebody will have to create a PowerPoint version, or if it's there, save it as a PowerPoint and not a PDF. That's
They
what's the
should
problem.
be, everything should be in as both. I'm just going in really quick to see, because I downloaded, Grab and Go. Let's see. You know what no, I have both versions. Yeah, in the links, it comes up as both. Let me just download it again and make sure. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. He's got versions of both and mine downloaded as a PowerPoint. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe, and what computer do you have? I mean,
HP.
you're not, okay. Yeah, that shouldn't matter anyway. I don't know why that's happening. But it's just the regular Grab and Go.
Yeah, so I tried downloading both, the PDF one and the one that says a PowerPoint version. Both of them is coming up as, well, hold on, let me try. Okay, I don't know what happened, but now, okay, it's coming up as a PowerPoint version now.
Okay, good. It's easy to confuse the two because they look the same. I mean, the file name looks the same. It looks very similar.
Yeah, could be that. Yeah.
Good, because I have no idea why it would.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. Any other issues?
So if you have issues, Liz is the person to talk to. And if Liz can't answer it, then she can get with her dad, which is awesome. And please understand, I mean, these tools are for you. We pay for these. So if they're not working for you, it could be user error, and we understand that. But it also may not. Maybe it's a glitch. Like, I mean, there are mistakes, not a lot of them, but there are some mistakes. So he wants to know if it's not perfect, right?
He absolutely does, because he's sending them out to a lot of people. So, and he does, I mean, he goes through lots of data. So sometimes we do find issues, and I will tell him about the bubble chart, because that was not, that 65% was not right. So
It was not.
and he does want to know, so do let him know.
Absolutely. And because it's so much data, there could be glitches in it. So,
Right.
you know, it's technology, so it's okay. And just don't get frustrated, you know, reach out. Okay.
Right.
Liz, thank you so much for your time. Any final questions before we move on with our day? We good? All right.
All right.
Use the stats to help you get buyers, reasonable buyers, and reasonable listings. That's what this is all about, is giving them information rather than hearsay. You've got the data that's accurate, and you become a subject matter expert. And that is what sells, and that is what increases your confidence. Okay? Awesome. Thank you again, Liz. I appreciate it so much.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good day, y'all.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.